Hi all. Um, Today I'm going to show you how to install and configure the multiplayer online game system for two games, for a New York Tunnel and for the Equilibrium game. So first of all, if you have already installed that game before, but you've decided to redo a new installation, you've played the game before, if there is something in the database on your server, and you've already done an installation, but you want to redo a fresh one for a new kind of game, don't forget to erase the database that has old things about the previous game. So you would go, if you are in Windows, and the same would go for Linux Ubuntu, you would access your PostgreSQL interface. So in that case, that would be the pgadmin tree visual interface, so as to erase whatever things you've got in your database. If it's the first time you install it, you don't have to do that part. But if it was a reinstall from something, and there was already something on your system, you would need to do that. So you would go to the server, you would select tables, and you would erase the data which are in all this. So you would go here, you select game for the game object, view your data, and I will erase some previous game object that had been created, delete, yes, and then you can close. You can do that for the network game object. You go to view data, and you can delete all that. And the user game object, you might not need to delete that one if you already had users before. You can reuse them, but otherwise, if you really want to do a new install from scratch, like I'm doing now for purpose of demonstration, you can do that. All right, so you can close that, and you also have to make sure, if it's the first time that you install. No, it's not. If it's not the first time you install the game and you've ran it before, you have to make sure that the file folder that contain user game logs is also empty. So if you are in the folder of the game you've extracted, there's an output folder and it should be empty. Yeah. Okay. Now you're ready to start. So you go to the command line, and it was already explained in the GitHub how to install and how to type the command line. There's two types of command line. So I'm going to type sales lift and minus port, and then the port number, which is 80, which is the standard HTTP port. So if I type that, may you be in Linux or in Windows, you will see this, the boot and this message telling that the server is now working and listening. That means that you can start your Chrome web browser or Chromium if you're in Linux and run the game. Now, I would recommend, if you really want to install the game so that many players can play it, that you install it on a Linux machine, because Linux tend to be more stable than Windows, which has Windows update happening that would suddenly reset your machine and stop your processes and all sorts of things. So alright, so this is working. You can now open your web browser and go to the localhost address. Localhost here. Don't add a port number because it's on 80, which is a standard HTTP port. Okay, so the very first time your game is running, you want to create an admin user so you can configure and add new games, and then you want to create a normal user to play the game, so as to test your system. Alright, so you sign up. Now, in order to create an admin user, you need to enter a keyword in the name, so the system will recognize it, called the_DM, short for the Dungeon Master. Then you put some email address, so bdm add something for me. Add your password, and create your account. Good, you created an admin account. Now sign out, and you need to sign up for a player account. So let's call it T1 with an email address that has a correct syntax. Doesn't necessarily need to exist, but you just need to have a proper syntax. Then password. Okay, you can sign out now. Alright, you got 2 users created. Now let's sign in as the DM. So the DM at something something, and your password. And now you can configure and create a couple of games. So let's go to networks, where you're gonna add network object. So add a new network. We're gonna first add a New York object. So select game mode NYC for New York. Enter a unique name for your New York file. NYC for your New York network. So NYC N. Then choose a file in your extracted folder. You should find a file called NYC1. It's the one you can select. Then it's gonna find all the data about the network and the pipes and stuff. Notice that here it's gonna automatically recognize this file is a NYC problem and set some pipes are changeable or replaceable, and some other pipes are not changeable, from what you can see in this column. So you click on upload. That's it, you got your first network file uploaded. Let's also upload the Equilibrium one. Choose an Equilibrium game mode. Give it a name, Aqua G. Choose your file, and then in the same folder there's a file called equilibrium.imp. So the previous one was nyc1.imp. This one is equilibrium.imp. Same, everything's been configured. Recognize that's this type of file. Upload. That's it, you got your 2 network. Now you just need to create the games themselves that will use this network file as setting for the game. So go to up there, click on games, add new game. So add your New York game for a name. So you put NYCG, well, NYC1. Okay, so select an Ethernet network. You make sure you select the NYC network, which corresponds to the New York problem. Then select game mode, go to NYC. Then team size, team points don't need to be changed. It will need to be changed for the more complicated Modena games, but I'll put another video for that. Now you need to make sure that for the DM user, team and team member rows are equal to -1, which means that you want to make sure that the admin cannot access the game as a player, just as an admin. For the rest, you don't touch it. Create. You go to setting once your game is created. You can check the open game so that any player logging in can participate. And you need anyway to access the first time that game settings screen, and click on update so that it will register that this game has been all created. Then you can click on view game as an admin, and it will give you the admin view of the game. You can click on the switch to start your game. Then go back to the game list up there, and you're going to create another game for the Equilibrium game. So you go to add new game, name it something, Aqua 1. You've got an Aqua G Ethernet network that you're going to select that goes with it. Make sure you select the game mode Equilibrium. Don't change the 2 things there, team size and time points. Make sure your admin is selected as -1 so that it cannot play the game for these 2 rows, these 2 cells. And you leave the T1 as normal. Click on create, go to settings, make it open, update. Now you can view your game as an admin, start the game so everybody will be able to play it. Now you can sign out. Now you can access the multiplayer online game system as a player. So you log in as T1 that we've created as a player account. So T1, sign in, and oh behold, you've got two different games available to play. So the New York one, if I click on play, then it's gonna download the New York game, and you can play it. You can select a pipe, change its size, click on commit to see the result, and so on, and you can then play the game. So that game is working. You can also play the other game, the Equilibrium, which is available. So click on play. And for this one, there are many different pipes to set up the first time. So you can click on Shift and then leave Shift press and select multiple pipes so as to change their pipe size. So this group is going to have this kind of size, and then click Shift again, select another group. There's a couple of rules that are written in red with a triangle for warning to say that you haven't selected the pipe properly yet for the game to be able to evaluate. Then this one, then it's a correct configuration. You press commit, and behold, all the levels are calculated and so on. You can get back to list of games available. The thing is ready to play. Thank you very much for listening to me. I will do another video for the configuration of the Modena game, which is much more complex because it's team-based. Once this is done, then you'll be able to play all three games.